Most people think they know Singapore, a sterile stopover. A city of rules, famous for being clean, wealthy, and maybe a little boring. They see the postcard image of futuristic trees and an infinity pool in the sky and think that's the whole story. But what if I told you that this entire image is a meticulously crafted illusion? A brilliant, necessary mask built on a foundation of desperation, anxiety, and an audacious gamble for survival. This isn't just a city, it's an argument, an ongoing experiment in nation building that challenges everything we think we know about identity and progress. So, forget the tourist trail for a moment. We're going to peel back the layers and uncover the stories Singapore doesn't always tell. Every first-time visitor is drawn here, to Gardens by the Bay. It's unavoidable, an alien landscape rising from reclaimed land. The common advice is practical. Don't pre-book the Skyway Bridge that stitches these super trees together. At 14 Singapore dollars, it's a fantastic experience, but a sudden tropical downpour, a daily possibility, will shut it down instantly, leaving your pre-paid ticket worthless. It's a smart tip, but it hints at a deeper truth. This entire garden is a calculated response to the unpredictability of nature itself. These aren't just pretty tourist attractions. They are a declaration of war against limitations. When Singapore was expelled from the Malaysian Federation in 1965, it became a nation by accident, a tiny island with no natural resources, no fresh water, and a precarious future. Its first leader, Lee Kuan Yew, famously wept on television, not knowing if his country would survive. His answer was radical: if we have no pristine nature, we will build it better. The super trees aren't just sculptures. They are vertical gardens housing over 162,900 plants. They are also engineering marvels. They harvest solar energy to power the nightly Garden Rhapsody light show, which is completely free to watch. They collect rainwater, which is then used to irrigate the park and feed the two colossal conservatories nearby. They are the lungs and kidneys of a man-made ecosystem, and those conservatories, the cloud forest and the flower dome, are the heart. For a combined ticket, you get both, and you should absolutely do both. But you'll quickly realize the cloud forest is the star. Inside, you're greeted by the world's tallest indoor waterfall, a 35-meter torrent of water crashing down through a man-made mountain shrouded in mist. It's breathtaking. The flower dome is a more traditional botanical garden, beautiful but less unique. The contrast is telling. The flower dome shows what nature can do. The cloud forest shows what Singapore can do. It's a controlled, perfected, and climate-defying version of a mountain ecosystem built on flat, reclaimed land at sea level. This entire park is the culmination of the Garden City vision, now evolved into a city in a garden. It was a strategy born from pragmatism. A clean, green city would combat disease, raise living standards, and most importantly, attract foreign investment and the global talent Singapore desperately needed. What you're walking through isn't just a park. It's a 101-hectare advertisement for competence, stability, and a future where humanity doesn't just coexist with nature, but improves upon it. But this level of control doesn't stop at the garden gates. It extends into the very veins of the city. You'll be told to skip the Singapore Tourist Pass. It's a $34 for 3 days card that involves queues and deposits. It's a tourist trap. The real system, the one locals use, is seamless. You just tap your contactless credit card or phone to get on a bus or train, and tap again when you get off. It's absurdly cheap. A 1-hour trip from the world's best airport to the city center costs about 250 Singapore dollars. Over 8 days of constant travel. My total cost was a mere $26. This hyper-efficiency isn't an accident. It's the result of a deliberate and deeply controversial social policy. In a country smaller than New York City, with a population of nearly 6 million, traffic should be a nightmare. But it's not. Because in Singapore, the government has made owning a car a near impossible luxury for the average person. To buy a car, you first need to bid for a piece of paper called a Certificate of Entitlement, or COE. This certificate gives you the right to own a car for just 10 years. In late 2023, the cost of this piece of paper alone skyrocketed to over 150,000 Singapore dollars. That's before you've even paid for the car itself. It is one of the most aggressive government interventions in a free market anywhere in the world. The result? The roads are clear. The buses, even at rush hour, are rarely packed. The Mass Rapid Transit, or MRT, is a spotless, punctual, and air-conditioned marvel that connects almost every corner of the island. The government's unspoken contract is clear. We will make personal mobility prohibitively expensive. But in return, we will provide you with public transport so good, you won't even miss having a car. This isn't just about managing traffic. It's about managing land, a resource more precious than gold here. Every square meter saved from a road or a parking lot is a square meter that can be used for housing, for parks, or for businesses. The flawless contactless system you use is part of the Smart Nation initiative, a sweeping plan to use data and technology to optimize every aspect of urban life. So, when you tap your card, you're not just paying a fare, you're participating in one of the world's most ambitious experiments in social engineering. And nowhere is that ambition more visible than on the skyline. Every visitor wants to see the view from the top of Marina Bay Sands. The official Sky Park observation deck will set you back about 32 Singapore dollars. If you're going for sunset after 5 p.m., you absolutely must book in advance. But there's a better way. Head next door to the CALAVI Sky Bar. The entry fee is $30, but it's fully redeemable for food and drinks. You get a drink, a seat, and essentially the same multi-million-dollar view for free. Just be warned, there's a dress code. No singlets, no flip-flops. You are expected to look the part. That dress code is more meaningful than you think. This entire building is about projecting an image of success and sophistication. But this icon, the symbol of modern Singapore, was born from a decision that deeply divided the nation. For decades, Singapore had strictly forbidden casinos, viewing them as a social vice that would lead to addiction and crime. But by the early 2000s, the city was losing its competitive edge to places like Hong Kong and Macau. It needed a game changer. The government made a monumental pivot. It would allow not one, but 2 casinos, rebranding them as integrated resorts, to soften the blow. Marina Bay Sands was the result. It was a $5.7 billion bet that Singapore could embrace the profits of gambling while containing its social costs. To discourage locals, the government imposed a hefty entry levy of $150 per day just for citizens and permanent residents to enter their own casinos. The gamble paid off spectacularly. Marina Bay Sands single-handedly redefined Singapore's skyline and tourism industry. It's more than a hotel. It's a vertical city with a convention center, a luxury mall with a canal running through it, a museum shaped like a lotus flower, and that mind-boggling ship-like structure perched across its 3 towers. It is a statement of audacious ambition. It says, we are no longer just a clean and efficient port city. We are a global destination for wealth, power, and pleasure. From those manufactured heights, let's descend to the ground, to the true beating heart of this nation, a place where its soul is served on a plastic plate. The one place your credit card is mostly useless is a hawker center. Here, cash is still king. And you absolutely must come here. The travel vlogs will point you to Newton Food Center because it was featured in the movie Crazy Rich Asians. And it's fine. But to understand Singapore, you need to understand that hawker centers are not just food courts. They are a pillar of the state. In the mid-20th century, Singapore's streets were filled with thousands of itinerant food vendors. The food was delicious, but hygiene was a major concern. So, in a massive public health and urban planning initiative, the government began moving these vendors into purpose-built centers with proper sanitation, running water, and seating. This wasn't just about cleaning up the streets. It was a nation-building exercise. Hawker centers became the great equalizers. In these noisy, bustling, non-air-conditioned spaces, you will see a construction worker in a dusty uniform sitting next to a banker in a bespoke suit, eating the same $5 plate of chicken rice. It is a gastronomic democracy. This is where Singapore's proclaimed multiculturalism is not just a policy, but a delicious, lived reality. You must try the Hainanese chicken rice, a deceptively simple dish of poached chicken and fragrant rice that requires immense skill. Try laksa, a fiery coconut-based noodle soup that embodies the fusion of Chinese and Malay flavors. Try char kway teo, a smoky, savory stir-fry of flat rice noodles with cockles and sausage. Each dish tells a story of migration, adaptation, and coexistence. This experience is so fundamental to the national identity that in 2020, Singapore's hawker culture was inscribed on the UNESCO representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It's an official recognition that the soul of this country is found not in its gleaming skyscrapers, but here, amidst the sizzle of the wok and the shared tables where all are welcome. You can even see the local custom of chop-ing, reserving a table by placing a packet of tissues on it. It's a system built entirely on trust and community understanding. But this soft, communal trust exists within a framework of famously hard rules. You will immediately notice how impossibly clean and orderly everything is. There is no graffiti. No one litters. This isn't because Singaporeans are inherently tidier than anyone else. It's because the consequences are severe. Drop a piece of trash, and you could face a fine of up to $2,000 for a first offense. This is the side of Singapore that generates headlines. The infamous ban on chewing gums, implemented to stop vandals from jamming the doors of new MRT trains. The fines for not flushing a public toilet. The strict laws on everything from speech to assembly. To an outsider, it can feel oppressive. But to understand it, you have to see it as a social contract. The deal, struck between the government and its people over decades, is this: give up certain individual freedoms, and in return, the state will guarantee security, stability, clean streets, a world-class education, and the opportunity for prosperity. It's a trade-off. You might not have the freedom to protest without a permit, but you have the freedom to walk home alone at 3 a.m. without fear. You might not be able to buy chewing gum, but your child can leave their laptop unattended in a cafe. Is it worth it? That is the central, ongoing debate of Singaporean life. For a nation that started with nothing, surrounded by instability, the allure of order was, and remains, incredibly powerful. This pragmatism extends to housing. Over 80% of Singaporeans live in public housing, known as HDB flats. These are not the grim social housing projects of other countries. They are well-maintained, modern apartments. It was a solution to a housing crisis, but also another tool of social engineering, with ethnic integration policies dictating the racial makeup of each block to prevent the formation of ghettos. As a traveler, you'll feel this premium on space. You might stay in a hotel in a great area like Bugis, as I did, only to find your room is a tiny, brilliantly designed pod. It's clean, central, and has everything you need. But it's small because in Singapore, space is the ultimate luxury. It's a physical reminder of the constraints this nation is constantly fighting against. It's easy to think Singapore has erased its past. But it's there, carefully preserved in designated pockets. When you visit places like Kampong Glam, Little India, and Chinatown, you're not just seeing ethnic neighborhoods, you're seeing the living legacy of the 1822 Raffles Town Plan, a colonial-era strategy by Sir Stamford Raffles to segregate the immigrant populations. What was once a tool of colonial control has been transformed into a celebration of multiculturalism. In Kampong Glam, the historical Malay, Arab quarter, the magnificent Sultan Mosque stands proudly amidst streets lined with textile shops and trendy cafes. In Little India, the air is thick with the scent of jasmine and spices, and the 24-hour Mustafa Center is a dizzying emporium where you can buy anything from a gold sari to a high-end camera. In Chinatown, the beautiful Buddha Tooth Relic Temple coexists with traditional medicine halls and chic cocktail bars. And for a true breath of fresh air, you must visit the Singapore Botanic Gardens. Don't confuse this with Gardens by the Bay. This is a 160-year-old tropical garden, the nation's first UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a lush, sprawling sanctuary that played a crucial role in the region's history. It was here that scientists perfected the techniques for rubber extraction, a discovery that fueled the Industrial Revolution and transformed the economy of Southeast Asia. It's a reminder that beneath the glass and steel of modern Singapore, there is a deep, organic history waiting to be discovered. So, Singapore, is it an authoritarian dystopia or a pragmatic utopia? The truth is, it's neither. It's something far more complex and fascinating. It's a testament to the idea that a nation isn't just a piece of land, but a shared story, a set of choices, and a constant, restless act of creation. It challenges you, provokes you, and ultimately, leaves you in awe of its sheer, relentless will to not just survive, but to prosper against all odds. It's a city that asks you to look past the surface and question what it truly means to build a home. What part of Singapore's story surprised you the most? Is there a detail or a contradiction that has stuck with you? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. If this journey opened up a new way of seeing this incredible state for you, please consider sharing it with a fellow traveler who loves to dig deeper. And for more stories that explore the hidden narratives of our world's most interesting places, make sure to subscribe. Thank you as always for watching.